Candace Owens has the distinct pleasure of being one of the most disgusting human beings while also being one of the most interesting. She recently made all sorts of headlines when she gave some pretty harsh, insane criticism to Harry Styles for his outfit choice on the cover of Vogue magazine. For those of you who don't know, Harry Styles' music group called One Direction. One Direction was essentially the English version of NSYNC, making Harry Styles English Justin Timberlake. For those of you who don't know who Justin Timberlake is, Justin Timberlake was in a band called NSYNC, which was the white version of Boyz II Men, essentially making Justin Timberlake the white version of Sean Stockman. For those of you who don't know who Sean Stockman is, here he is in this photo next to Michael Jackson. What event could they have possibly been attending where both of these outfits are accepted? Oh, we can't see their feet, but I guarantee you Sean Stockman is wearing brown loafers. Anyway, let's get to what Candace Owens had to say about Harry Styles, shall we?
Really empowering and forward, and quite frankly, I do not find men in dresses to be attractive. Women do not find men in dresses to be attractive.
She couldn't have possibly been elected to be the speaker of all womankind, for Christ's sakes, right? Now, the first thing she said had some validity. She has her right to have her preference on the appearance of any man who enters her life. And if she doesn't like dresses on men, while that's problematic, she's got to unpack that. It's when she starts speaking about women as a whole that seems a little sketchy, right? And a word on preference. Any preference has an innate prejudice, whether that be preference to body type, skin tone, or even income. Any preference you hold also belies a prejudice against the opposite, more than likely. For instance, Candace Owens having a preference toward men who don't wear dresses is the same as me having a preference to women whose hair isn't that fucking stiff. I mean, and I wasn't gonna go here, and I'm sorry, because it wasn't about appearance, but her shit be stiff. Her shit has rigor mortis. It defies wind. Aang, the last airbender, would have a fucking difficult time fucking making her shit blow, you know what I mean? Storm from the X-Men, it would be her greatest challenge yet to make Candace Owens' hair fluctuate with a gust.
Turning women into men and turning men into women has been the move on the left as of late, right? Women should want to go to work. You don't need a man. Shave your head. Dye it pink. Make yourself ugly, right? Because that's feminism and that's power and that sticks it to the patriarchy. Men.
Candace Owens has been to Logan Square.
I want to ask you guys about Hollywood, because this was almost the biggest issue that I was hitting at. When's the last time they've ever promoted anything good or anything functional?
Greta Thunberg, the young, insert, obscure European nation activist, just had a phenomenal documentary that just got released, and one could say Hollywood funded that. Now, a word on Greta Thunberg, a word on Greta Gerwig. That's the wrong Greta. A word on Greta Thunberg. I was gonna have a joke about the young lady's appearance, and again, I'm punching down. And my joke was Greta Thunberg looked a little bit like Smeagol from The Lord of the Rings, and when I fucking Googled that, guess what? I didn't even fucking make that joke. There's tons of mean sons of bitches out there who already made jokes. Not just made jokes, but they fucking made graphics about it, alright? So shame on me for even having that contrite attempt at humor.
Live in the hills. If I see a man in a dress, I think he's a crackhead. Period. Right? If you see that stuff, if you live in the projects, if you live on the streets and you see somebody wearing a man.
What does Candace Owens know about the hood? Unless she had a super hood boyfriend at one point, which would make all of this so much better if she just was fucking with hood niggas forever. Candace Owens was dating fucking Kevin Gates, I'd be like, oh, it's fine. She's dating Kevin Gates. It's cool. She's on a different team.
Wearing a dress, you assume that they have mental issues. And I want to be very clear, this is my opinion, I would never allow my kids near a man that's wearing a dress. That's my personal opinion. You can call that however you want to call that. I don't.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's tons of drag queens who are utterly crestfallen they can't babysit Candace Owens' hellspawn when it spews out of her. That was mean.
You have a whole lot of human history for you to look at, right? Men, the role of men is to defend, it's the role to protect. So all of you men who are sending me pictures of you in a dress and saying, oh, I'm still a man or I'm still a manly man, I am not calling on you when there's a world war. I am not calling on you when I'm in an emergency.
What about those Polynesian tribes? Those guys are strong warriors. They wear like grass skirts, right? What about fucking William Wallace? Fucking Braveheart, you know what I mean? There's tons of fucking super strong guys who wear dresses. What about Young Thug for Jiminy Christmas?
About that. A perversion is that Hollywood people, Hollywood elitists, also a bunch of women telling, oh, abortion's the best thing ever. I
don't think anyone's saying that an abortion is the best thing ever. I mean, if that person is saying that an abortion's the best thing ever, have you tried funnel cake?
I loved my abortion, Jamila Jahil, Miley Cyrus, abortion, right? That's her thing, abortion cake.
How do you know that's what she said before she took a picture? There's no audio before pictures. How would you know that? Imagine being so trapped in your own beliefs that you think people say, how the fuck would she know that? How the fuck would she? You just see an image of someone doing this, and then you assume they said abortion, that you're nuts. You're crazy.
They glorify men in dresses. They glorify WAP, WAPs, hitting the ground, 13.
I think glorification's a really, really strong term to use, right? Especially when you see like actual glorification, right? What the Mount Rushmore is peak glorification. We chiseled the faces of 4 murderers into Mother Earth to glorify what allegedly they had done. That's glorification. We don't glorify the song WAP. We just kind of hum it. I don't even know that many people who know all the words to WAP. All I personally know is beat it up, nigga, catch a charge. And that's, ugh. Imagine if Megan had a bar in WAP about shooting up
The way people sitting here talking about, oh, masculinity means you want men to beat you. Like the dichotomy between wearing a dress, like if you don't wear a dress, that means that you beat women, is completely crazy. It's completely crazy.
And in this particular case, I agree with Candace. Wearing a dress doesn't exempt you from domestic violence, and not wearing a dress certainly doesn't mean you are an active, willing participant in domestic violence. She's absolutely right. However, I'd be remiss not to mention Sean Connery, who was known for, his rather masculine roles as Jaime Bond in the 2 O's and a 7 films. Here's a clip from Sean Connery, who's known for wearing suits.
It's not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist. It's better to do it with an open hand. Mm. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No, not at all.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good.
You don't think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
What would merit it?
Well, if you have tried everything else, and women are pretty good at this, they can't leave it alone. They want to have the last word, and you give them the last word, but they're not happy with the last word. They want to say it again, and get into a really provocative situation.
Barbara Walters. I know we always check on Betty White, but Barbara Walters is also in her thousands. Someone check on Barbara Walters for me.
Masculine. I like men that protect women, okay? Does not mean you beat women. You're sitting here glorifying people like Cardi B who are telling you it's to put your vaginas on the floor, right?
Put your vagina. That reminds me of when I was a kid And my mom would walk into my room and she'd be like, boy, pick that up off the floor. You walked past that 3 times. And I'm just imagining someone's vagina being on the floor and their mom going, now pick that vagina up before I take it away. You're not going to have no more vagina if I see it on the floor again.
When I said Hollywood is satanic, I believe that from the bottom of my heart because I cannot think of something good that has come out of Hollywood.
Looks like Candace hasn't seen Life of Marwin.
Happy for everyone who keeps throwing me all of these rockers who wore dresses. Okay, they were also all on drugs, right? Look at Kurt Cobain wearing this dress, Candace. Oh, he looked like a person that was very stable and mentally healthy. Let me go try to live my life like that.
Kind of the thing, right? I don't think anyone wants to be Kurt Cobain. I think people look at Kurt Cobain as this tortured individual who couldn't make sense of the world around him. No one idolizes Kurt Cobain. In fact, people who feel like Kurt Cobain, or at least think they feel like Kurt Cobain, probably don't want to fucking feel like Kurt Cobain, right? It's less idolization than it is a recognizing in someone else of something in you as well. Like I'm sure most Nazis and incels recognize themselves in you, Candace.
And a masculine figure who raise solid kids with good values. Kids that don't believe in twerking when they're 13 years old.
All this talk about 13-year-olds is getting me curious as to what Candace Owens' search history is. That's a very specific age. And how do you know?
And for all of you guys that are running around saying, oh, she's doing this for attention.
It's always funny when someone references narcissism and they upload 3 videos a week and they have 2 million followers and it's always the camera facing them. You know what I mean? I could see if you're a fucking photographer and you photograph the Grand Canyon and you have 2 million followers, then you could probably post the Grand Canyon like 3 times and maybe not be in danger of being a narcissist. But if the camera's fucking facing you and you do this of your own volition, some of that's narcissism. Stop it.
That put on a dress and went on the cover of Vogue, that would be for attention. Because at the core of these people who you think are subversive and progressive and forward is a desperate need for attention, and they can never do enough to get that attention. This isn't about them being fulfilled or being happy or being comfortable in their own skin. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Virtually every person I've met in Hollywood is dying a silent death. You know,
we're all sort of dying silent deaths, unless you say, I'm dying right now, and right now, and right now. That's the grand paradox of life. Every second we live, we inch closer to death. Anyway, that's enough of Candace. I almost tried to make her name Nasty. There's something there. Nasty, Candace, whatever.
So tired of society's attack on masculinity. Masculinity is sexy. Swing an axe, take care of your family, fish, hunt, shoot, do whatever it is that you do.
It's just very peculiar in her mind that masculinity is tied to these extraneous artifacts like axes or fishing poles, right? I can almost envision her opening up a very dusty tome and reading on page 47 that it says right here that men often burp. Like, what a bizarre, antiquated way to think. This is weird.
You know, let the guys hang out with the guys.
Gay. Woo! I am glad that is over. In conclusion, I don't know. I don't have a fucking conclusion. Something to wrap it up with better next time. But I'm going to keep this in because my eyebrow looks really good. You know I don't arch my eyebrows? They're just naturally like that. All right, bye.
Nobody cares what you think. Thanks, guys.